Welcome to the 33rd Annual Holiday Auction supporting the Boy Scouts of America Mountain West Council. We're thrilled to have you with us this evening. My name is Jim Borchers. I'm the Vice President of Operations for the Council. I'll be one of your hosts this evening. We're grateful to have you with us. We'd like to get through a few housekeeping things before we spend some time talking about our sponsors, some excellent auction items that we have today, and also let you share some thoughts or see some thoughts from folks that support scouting. First of all, our auction site is going to be active until December 7th. It is mountainwestcouncil.afrogs.org. And if you have any needs or concerns with the auction site, you can call 208-807-3808. My co-host is
Jay Bradley. I'm the Vice President, Mountain West Council Alumni Relations. We're grateful for you to join us here this evening, and we hope you have a wonderful time, as well as take a look at these auction items. Some of them are truly once-in-a-lifetime experiences, and we certainly hope we can share these experiences not only with you, but with the Scouts.
And the reason that we're here and the reason that you're here is for us to raise some money to support the youth of the council. As you know, and as we've experienced both as scouts and leaders, the money goes to building leadership in our youth throughout the southern Idaho and eastern Oregon areas. So if you'll sit back, relax, enjoy what we've got for you for about the next 45 to 60 minutes, and get your wallets and credit cards ready. Support the Scouts, and we would very much appreciate it. First off, we're going to share a video from Andy Fujimoto, who is our current council president. You'll hear from him, and then we'll be back.
On behalf of the Mountain West Council of the Boy Scouts of America, we thank you for supporting the furthering of our purpose to help young people make ethical and moral choices over their lifetime by instilling in them the Scout Oath and Scout Law. In a world fraught with divisiveness, it's refreshing to unify over such a noble cause. Although it is true that you're impacting youth's lives from John Day, Oregon to Raft River, Idaho, I want you to know of the difference you're making to that one youth who's hoping and praying for the miracle of scouting. Scout me in.
We appreciate Andy and all that he's done for the council. We have a number of excellent sponsors that we'd like to recognize. The first one that we'd like to recognize this evening is Taco Bell. We appreciate Carl Nicolason and his organization and all that Taco Bell does, and you'll get a chance to hear from their organization later today. Our first auction item that we'd like to kind of portray or give you a chance to look at is auction item number 104, Middle Fork of the Salmon.
Jim, I'm so excited. This is our first auction item. Middle Fork of the Salmon River is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. To be able to take your family to truly the river of no return, to enter the impassable canyon, to be able to see a mountain sheep right on the water's edge, be able to enjoy the crystal clear waters of the Middle Fork. You will have an awesome time fishing, rafting, and enjoy nature that is truly in pristine Idaho wilderness.
And this is for 5 days. And you get thrown out of the raft?
You know, there is a promise I make as an adult. You can try, but you're going in with me.
Okay, there you go.
That's right.
So either the water's going to throw you out or you're going to throw
That's
them
right.
out.
That's right.
All right.
And let me tell you, I've had the opportunity to do this twice in my life, and whether you're on a raft or in the water, it's the experience is wonderful. You will sleep on some of the most amazing river beaches amongst mature ponderosa pine. And let me tell you, when we talk about the stars at night, they are big and bright.
Right. And the only way to get there is on the raft going down the river.
You will paddle,
Yeah.
and you will enjoy some of the best that Idaho has to offer.
So get your checkbooks out, get your credit cards out, start bidding on item number 104. Again, the auction site is mountainwestcouncil.afrogs.org. Now, other than getting up on the river and doing things with water sports, we have actually, I think, the two best camps anywhere in the Northwest and probably the Western United States. One of those is Camp Bradley, and we're going to share a little bit of Camp Bradley with you in this next video.
Cape Horn is a unique situation. At the turn of the century, it was the last of the frontier mining towns. So the turn of the 20th century, in fact, you had packers that used it as a way station to head up to some of the last gold mines found on the eastern side of the Middle Fork of the Salmon River. The Cape Horn area was referred to by that name by hunters and trappers, miners, because that had been the crossroads of all of the indigenous people that would head into the Sawtooth Mountains, the Salmon Chalice Mountains that we know today, the Frank Church Wilderness, throughout the ages. Those hot springs that are on the camp are unique to our area, and that Cape Horn Licks was a gathering area of not only the geothermal pools, but also the salmon runs that would come through each year there on Marsh Creek. So right in front of our historic buildings at Cape Horn is the original pack train road that eventually became an ore wagon toll road. And that exists today right in front of the old Cape Horn Hotel and the Cape Horn Lodge. We're fortunate to have original buildings. They're still on the site. Of course, the hunting lodge is probably the most obvious. The Cape Horn Hotel has had its share of families that it's hosted, and everything from gubernatorial candidates to the lieutenant governor came and stayed at the Cape Horn Hotel over the years. The camp itself has had very interesting individuals that it has hosted. Probably the most famous in the 1960s, John Glenn and Robert Kennedy floated the Middle Fork of the Salmon River, and they were hosted by the Explorer Scouts that had been some of the first outfitters, if you will, on the Middle Fork of the Salmon River. The uniqueness of the location, surrounded by multiple national forests and at the base of the Frank Church Wilderness, lends it to be a frontier experience that is living history. There is history throughout that camp, not only the indigenous population that certainly for thousands of years visited before the trappers, before the hunters, before the miners, and then to have that Idaho experience and that Idaho heritage of mining and logging and fur trapping come through that town of Cape Horn. The Scouts were able to purchase it in 1956 and immediately took to backpacking in the surrounding wilderness. The Mountain West Council has had the opportunity to be caretakers of this historic property and expand its offerings to the youth. We probably have one of the best sports shooting ranges facilities that is new on the property. It could be used for everything from mountain biking, backpacking, whitewater rafting. It is a base of operations to a wilderness. The facilities that are there include multiple historic cabins, but in addition, modern bunkhouses. Campsites are tucked away in mature lodgepole pine, many times with geothermal features right next to them. The surrounding area, acres around the homestead, we have a use agreement with the Forest Service. And so in effect, we now have a valley, if you will, a contained valley surrounded by hills on each side that is ours for the enjoyment of the youth, and certainly the development of program that will help build the youth and the character that we seek. The Bradley Scout Reservation has that unique blend of modern convenience and Idaho heritage. What a unique opportunity for youth today, whether we host a traditional scout camp or whether it is for outside youth groups. I think everyone that attends the Bradley Scout Reservation will come back with not only an appreciation for nature and the outdoors, but an appreciation for our Idaho heritage.
As you can see, Camp Bradley is probably one of the nicest camping areas in the United States, and especially for those youth that we support. And your money that you donate and for the things that you bid on, that all goes to things like Camp Bradley. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Idaho Central Credit Union, for their sponsorship and their support of the auction this year. And we'd also like to thank Pepper Shock Media, who produced the video that you just saw. Great expanse of the valley there, and Bradley is right where it needs to be. We'd also like to thank Adventure Idaho, who provides the rafts and guides for our river trip. So thank you for those sponsors. Our next item that we'd like you to look at is item number 111. This is dinner with Coach Leon Rice of the Boise State basketball team. You and 8 of your best friends can go have dinner. If you had dinner with Coach Rice, Jay, what would you ask him?
I would be talking about what a great job he's done building up that program. Aren't they doing great?
They are.
And that's so much fun at the arena these days, and be able to see the games played to that level.
Do you ever take your kids to the games?
You know, my kids are big fans of everything with a ball.
Oh,
so, you know, opportunities are always there to enjoy.
Yeah, I think I'd ask him what's the most successful play that he plays with his team. You know, what kind of a setup is the most successful for playing against the teams that he plays against? But again, 8 of your friends can have dinner with Coach Rice, ask him all the questions that you want to. Not sure if you get to pick the place or if you get to just have a box lunch at Boise State Gymnasium, but I'm sure you can work that out. So bid high on this one. Again, the site is mountainwestcouncil.afrogs.org. And if you need any help, 208-807-3808. Next video we'd like to share with you is from our sponsors, Taco Bell. And if you're hungry, go get a taco.
SON is family-owned and operated with a proud tradition of operating Taco Bell restaurants in Oregon and Idaho that stretches back over 50 years. Our dedication to family and the communities where we operate spans 4 generations and is a fundamental part of who we are.
Our mission is to develop, inspire, and empower.
Develop, inspire, and empower
our leaders, teams, and faces of SON.
Our leaders, teams, and the faces of SON.
Our leaders, teams, and faces of SON.
To bring joy to our customers.
To bring joy to our customers.
To bring joy to our customers, community, and families.
Customers, community, and families by serving
fast, fresh, and delicious food.
Fast, fresh, and delicious food.
With a smile.
With a smile.
Fast, fresh, and delicious food with a smile.
With a smile.
Join our growing team at careers@tacobell.com.
Any chance I get, I want to give thanks to Carl Nicolaisen. 30 years ago, he was my National Jamboree Scoutmaster, taking us to Virginia for the 1989 National Boy Scout Jamboree. And 30 years ago, he certainly made an impression on a young teenager. And here we are today, still enjoying the outdoors together. He's a great supporter of the Mountain West Council and of the Boy Scouts of America.
Yeah, and we appreciate Carl and his family, and especially Taco Bell. Our next sponsor that we'd like to thank is Clark Wardle Attorneys. They do a great job in multiple areas of law, especially in real estate. So if you need any help at all, make sure you support Jeff Wardle and his partners in that firm. Our next auction item is auction 101, Camp Morrison camping for 3 days over Memorial Day of 2022. This gives you an opportunity to reserve the entire site for 3 days for whatever kind of camping you want to do with your family, a reunion, a wedding, 6 cabins, 28 campsites. Maybe you invite an entire church organization. Jay, have you ever taken family there?
All the time. In fact, my family probably knew Camp Morrison before my kids became Cub Scouts.
Oh, excellent.
I grew up with Camp Morrison as my youth camp.
Yep.
Return as often as I can. And I want to issue a special challenge. If we get bids on this, I think it's a wonderful season to go Memorial Day. And something folks may not know, but Camp Morrison is home to some of the best morel mushroom hunting that you can find. So if you are a culinary expert, I will be happy to show you for a bid of over $4,000 that Memorial Day weekend. I will show you where you can find fresh morels, and we are talking about some of the best that grow in the forests of Idaho.
So what we're going to do is you bid over $4,000 on this. Jay is going to come be your morel guide.
Absolutely.
Awesome. That'd be fun. And maybe you'll see some wildlife while you're there, and hopefully the deer hadn't eaten them all yet. So bid high on this one. Think about the larger organization that you might be associated with. Do you have a church group or somebody else that this might be worth $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 even to go up and take 100 people, however many you want to go up and fill that camp with? Enjoy the opportunity, and we'll have another one for you on another holiday coming up soon. Our next little vignette, you'll probably recognize the person putting it on. We hope you enjoy the next little segment.
Hi, I'm Idaho Governor Brad Little. As a former Boy Scout, it is an honor to address you today at this very important fundraiser. I'm not alone. If you're a male U.S. citizen over 50 years of age, the chances are better than 50% that you were in Scouts as a youth. I have fond memories from being a Boy Scout, and I often look back on the lessons learned from scouting. In 1969, the National Jamboree was in northern Idaho at Farragut State Park. Besides the friendship and experiences I shared with other Idaho Scouts, I often state I got a phone call from the moon. I was at the Jamboree when Neil Armstrong was the first human being to set foot on the moon. The call was to me and 35,000 fellow Scouts was, quote, "I'd like to say hello to all my fellow Scouts and Scouters at Farragut State Park in Idaho, having a national jamboree there this week, and Apollo 11 team would like to send them best wishes." Scouting offered this incredible opportunity to a 15-year-old kid from Emmett. Presidents, astronauts, scientists, and leaders in every human endeavor credit finding their passions to scouting. Along with other lifelong skills, Scouts teach youths to set goals and finish what they start. From Burns to Raft River and from the Nevada border to Whitebird, there are more than 2,500 Scouts in the Mountain West Council. These Scouts are no doubt becoming better citizens and Americans due to their participation in scouting programs. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your fundraiser. Take care and enjoy the auction.
Jay, I don't know about you, but doing my citizenship merit badges, it was kind of okay for a couple of them, and I think that Citizenship in the World slowed me down a little bit, but I got there.
I can remember sitting in a city council session as a young scout and having no idea what was going
Exactly.
on. That's right. What an eye-opening experience to the workings of your government and how we as citizens participate. I think some of those opportunities that the youth get to enter courtrooms, enter city council meetings, and sessions of the legislature in order to pass requirements for their merit badges make some of the best prepared voters in the nation.
And you wonder why they do the parliamentary procedure that they do, and you get exposed to different opinions. For my citizenship in the community, my scoutmaster took my patrol to the city jail and had us all incarcerated. So he maybe knew something that we didn't, but I can remember the door shutting behind us and thinking, this is not a place I want to be for very long. So it was kind of an interesting opportunity for us. If you get a chance and you just want to donate, go to the Donate tab on the home page and simply click Donate Now on the home page, and you can make a donation there if you'd like to. Take a listen to this next video, if you will.
Clark Wardle, LLP, is proud to sponsor the Mountain West Council Holiday Auction. Today we're real estate development attorneys, but we were all scouts. Scouting prepared us for life. We are grateful for your support of this great organization. And as Council Commissioner, I can assure you that scouting today is more family-oriented, more inclusive, and safer than ever before. And to our volunteers who spend countless hours with our youth, thank you. Now, spend some money.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, spend some money, will you? That's what we're here to do. Your entire goal tonight is to spend more money than you're supposed to, and then figure out what to do with that later. We'd also like to especially thank Ball Ventures Alquist is another one of our title sponsors. We appreciate Tom Alquist and all that he does for the council, and wanted to make sure that we recognize him. We'd also like to thank Fairly Reliable Bob Otto. A good old Fairly Reliable. I had a grandfather that did some work for them way back in the 70s when they first got started. And I always laugh at that name. I don't know who picked that up or who designed that, but Fairly Reliable Bob is a great sponsor for us. Also, Portman Square Group, if you get a chance, use them as well. We've got one more auction item, and that is number 100. If you don't want to bid on a specific item in the auction, you can go to item 100 and simply check that and then donate whatever amount you feel that you can donate. This money will be used in different places around the council. It may be used for ammunition at the rifle range. It may be used for getting new canoes. It may be used for sponsorships for camp. It may be used for a number of different things that we do across the council in all of our different troops and packs. And we'd also like to make sure that all of you realize that our girl troops are doing extremely well, and we want to make sure that we support them across the council as well. One of the things that we have been busy doing over the years is Friends of Scouting. And even though Friends of Scouting isn't embedded into some of our charter organizations like it used to, you can still donate to Friends of Scouting, or you can buy popcorn. You guys do the popcorn thing?
Let me tell you, I still have a 9-year-old Cub Scout, and we have spent many an hour in front of grateful stores around the valley selling popcorn, raising money for the troop and the pack that my kids are involved in. And let me tell you, Jim, when you donate to a council and those funds can be used for camperships, I remember my days as a young Scoutmaster and being able to take kids that may not have had that opportunity to be in the outdoors, to have a week at summer camp and be able to provide a campership for that family. It makes a difference in that young man's life, and I certainly think with girls being more active in the scouting program, we're going to see many girls say this is the experience that changed their life.
Yeah, and the camperships are important. That's one of the things that we do quite a bit of. And those camperships can go to things like NYLT, which is our youth training. They can go to Wood Badge. They can go to either Camp Bradley or Camp Morrison. So those camperships and other donations go to those kinds of things that we do in the council. So again, as Jeff said, spend money. Take a look at where you might see some of your money used this next year.
Troop 100's been working at Camp Bradley to make it more enjoyable for Scouts.
What started with a few Scouts working towards conservation service hours quickly grew into a community effort involving dozens of Scouts and hundreds of man-hours.
This project started small, but soon Troop 100 saw what the camp could become with just some Scout power. Camp Bradley was purchased in 1956. Originally called Camp Cape Horn, the Scout camp quickly grew into a premier destination located between the beautiful Sawtooth Mountains and the Middle Fork of the Salmon River. The camp went through many updates throughout the years. A few of those improvements included a large dining hall to accommodate hundreds of Scouts.
4 Scouts started the effort by moving fallen lodgepole pine trees into horizontal rows to slow erosion and build up natural debris fields on the hillside above the shooting range. This required a lot of coordination and focus to move multiple fallen trees into the desired position to help with the erosion. These same Scouts also loaded a trailer full of shingles and later unloaded the debris at the Boise landfill. The shingles had been removed from the cabins years ago and were littering the forest floor. After the Scouts took care of the shingles, they used the magnet stakes to pick up hidden nails off the ground.
3 weeks later, the majority of Scout Troop 100 volunteered their weekend to do a massive camp cleanup. The Scouts were split into 3 groups. Each group was assigned a different task around the camp. The first group used magnetic stakes to pick up nails from where the shingles were on the ground. The second group worked on the fire rings littered throughout the campground, but not located in the actual campsites. The third group of Scouts gathered construction debris to add in our disposal pile. This required the Scouts to relocate large items into the central location in the camp. About 2 weeks later, the Scouts and a few adults went up to take the docks out of Cape Horn Lake so they wouldn't freeze up and crack this winter. This was an all-day and into-the-night project. Thank goodness one of the adults brought a winch to help pull docks out of the water. On Halloween weekend, Scouts from Troop 100 returned to Camp Bradley to repair a trailer and bring back railroad ties to be used as a Salmon River High adventure base.
Camp Bradley started out as a way station for prospectors and freighters on their way north to the mines. The camp's hot springs were known as the Cape Horn Licks as well as the Cape Horn Hot Springs. The Greyhound and Seafoam mining districts were active in the late 1800s, but dwindled as water and supplies were always scarce. With the Thunder Mountain Gold Strike in 1902, industrialized mining companies invested in pack mule trains to bring supplies in and or out of the mining districts.
By 1903, the Rideout brothers built an original way station, including a hotel, saloon, general store, livery stable, bathhouse, and cabins. Ownership transferred to William T. Burns in 1906. The Greyhound Mining Company had begun to build a toll road that year to accommodate wagons instead of pack mules, and more investment began to flow into the area.
In 1906, Teddy Roosevelt established the Sawtooth Forest Reserve. Included in the forest boundary is the land surrounding Camp Bradley.
William T. Burns applied for the Homestead Entry Survey in 1906. This homestead is what became Camp Bradley. Our troop discovered that when we work as hard as a group, it could really be a lot of fun, while getting major projects accomplished and learning about the history of Camp Bradley.
It said Bradley at the end of that.
It did, Jim. I have to admit, my kids had so much fun working on the movie-making merit badge and coming up with a script, shooting scenes, and putting that all together. I think it's so wonderful the opportunities kids get for not only traditional scouting that you might see in the photos behind us, but also new ventures, movie making. What a great opportunity for them.
Isn't this a Spielberg piece?
That's right. That's right. A great supporter of scouting, and I think we've got some future directors on our hands right there.
Did Spielberg have any? You said they introduced this, or did they?
Well, the movie making merit badge was introduced at the 1989 Jamboree. As I mentioned before, I was there in attendance, and they had Mr. Spielberg there and at the Jamboree.
Got the juices going.
And got the juices going.
Excellent.
So I remembered it when I was raising my kids. Hey, here's something new to try out.
And with the new technology, you can do it with your phone. You don't have to have the big cameras that we used to have. So that is awesome. One correction to my opening, we need to close our bidding on this event on November 22nd. So I want to make sure I got that correction in. We'd like to thank Bob and Patty Campbell and Lee and Joyce Welch for their support of this auction this year as well. So you've now seen a couple of videos on Camp Bradley. Now you can go to number 103 in your auction book or online and rent Camp Bradley for 3 days over the Labor Day weekend in 2022. And from what you've seen, you're going to be in a valley that is probably one of the best, most pristine areas in central Idaho, just south of the wilderness area. And again, you have the opportunity to have those 3 days for whatever size of an organization that you feel you want to bring. And again, it can be a church group, it can be your family, a family reunion. You can invite the whole neighborhood, have your neighborhood association party there if you want to. Think out of the box a little bit. Think about your company. Could you do a company resort, retreat, or weekend up there and offer that to your corporation as a bonus over Labor Day? So again, spend money, look at the opportunities to bid up. Maybe we could find somebody to give fly fishing lessons on that lake up there. So.
I think we have some really good resources in this council
so
for fly fishing, and they would enjoy an invitation to always be able to cast a rod, especially on that Cape Horn Lake, Marsh Creek, some of the best tributaries to the Middle Fork. Again, we're at that base surrounded by the Salmon Chalice to the north, the Sawtooth to the south, Boulder White Clouds to the east, and the Boise National Forest to the west.
Right.
What an awesome base of operations.
Yep, you can go up and look at the Tetons of central Idaho, if you want to call them that, right there in Stanley. So we have a lot of great men and families that support scouting. We have a lot of professional scouters that dedicate their lives to the support of scouting. And they do it not only because of their profession, but because of what's in their hearts and minds in wanting to build the youth, not only of Idaho, but of the United States and the world. Take a listen to the next few segments.
The mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Law. Through our programs, we help young people develop character, citizenship, and fitness while learning leadership skills. Astronaut Neil Armstrong, President Gerald Ford, Secretaries of State Robert Gates and Rex Tillerson, and Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer were all Eagle Scouts. I have no doubt that tomorrow's business and civic leaders are Scouts today. Thank you for participating in the holiday auction. Your support will help us continue to provide the programs that prepare tomorrow's leaders. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brad Wiskirchen. I'm the CEO of Count, and I've been participating in the creation and organization of this event. As an Eagle Scout, I can tell you it's still one of the things I'm most proud of all my accomplishments in life, because it shows that at a very young age I had the stick-to-itiveness, often driven by my mother, but the stick-to-itiveness to get through a very difficult and challenging experience like earning the necessary merit badges in order to qualify for my Eagle. So please help me in trying to support the Scouts through the online auction, through the live auction, and through participation in this season's fundraiser. So thank you for all you do for scouting. Thank you for all you do for the young men and young women who participate.
Scouting's founder, Lord Baden-Powell, taught, every man that walks through life is no different than every man who walks on the countryside without leaving his tracks behind. And it is often those who follow behind that find their way by following that same path. I'm so grateful for Scouting and 110 years of service that have helped young people find their way. Young people have found their way by realizing their duty to God. They have found their way by realizing their duty to country. They have found their way by realizing their duty to mankind, their family, and more so, themselves. Scouting is more relevant today and vital today than ever before. Thank you for following in the steps of Scouting and leaving a path for these young people to find their way.
Yeah, it's great to see Lynn Gunter and know of his staff and all the dedication of our professional scouters. We want to also thank KPMG and the Oppenheimer Corporation for their support of today's event. What's our next item, Jay?
We have a 2-day defensive handgun training course. This 2-day course is held at a premier resort for firearms training. Pick any 2-day defensive handgun training course, and it can be changed to a practical rifle or tactical shotgun courses, and those are held in Pahrump, Nevada.
Great opportunity. You know, our youth need to have the opportunity to understand firearms and have firearms training, and those of us that have been to camp and, you know, laid there and put all of our 10 shots in the size of a dime.
I can remember having to go back for evening sessions at summer camp to get that down to that quarter size.
Yeah.
Boy, as a young scout, that sure is a challenge, probably just to stand still that long.
Yeah.
I think we all get a little bit too hyperactive as an 11-year-old.
Well, when I went to Camp Morrison, we had a quarter club and a dime club.
Okay.
And so if you could get everything within the dime, you got to be in the dime club, and that was pretty good. You got a dime for doing it. That's all they gave you. So.
Oh, there's a reward.
Yeah,
My kids came back with their shotgun shells proudly hanging from their uniforms.
Yep.
And let me tell you, we have some of the best course directors for our shooting sports here in the Mountain West Council.
So if you'd like to take your family or a couple of you to this defensive handgun training course, here's an opportunity for you to spend some time at Front Sight Institute and not only learn about firearms, but get to rub shoulders with some of the best training in the world. So again, get your money out, get your credit cards out, mountainwestcouncil.afrogs.org, and bid them up. Let's see how much we can make on this. One of the real keys to the scouting program is teaching leadership. And it's not only teaching leadership amongst the adults, it's teaching leadership to the youth to help them understand how to run meetings, how to set agendas, how to confront conflict, how to deal with different personalities and opinions. Take a look at this next video.
NYLT is the National Youth Leadership Training. It's a week-long course devoted to teaching skills for the individual and then as a team. So it goes into lots of things like setting goals, time management, problem solving, emergency problem solving, just the big things that you're going to need throughout your life, but definitely within the unit as well. With the principles that I learned at NYLT, I was able to keep up all of my grades and really cascade me into deciding what I want to do, dreaming bigger than, small town. Bradley is wonderful. It's definitely older than Morrison, it has an older feel, but it's just much homier. I love how quiet it is. The scenes are just gorgeous with just everything. Oh my gosh, the chapel up there, that's probably my favorite part of Bradley. You're 30 miles away from anything. So it applied the principles more like, if we don't have a can opener, well, we're gonna use a knife, you know? It's real life, like this is Scouts. So when you go to NYLT, it's a great experience. You're put into different patrols, and those patrols you try not to have the same people from your units, just so that you're bonding with teams, and it helps with the team bonding experience and all of the stages there. The whole time that we're there, we're learning skills, and then we're applying them kind of just as a troop assembly form. So you go just like we would in a normal meeting, and then after that you apply them at an outpost. So we take the last day and they go overnight and they have to do their things as they're on patrol, and they set those goals and everything for that last day. Expect to be changed. It wasn't just taking it home to my crew, but it was really applying it to myself and with my friends, with my personal goals or grades, or even in my family, you know, like figuring out who's gonna do the dishes or something as little as that. So I've been involved in lots of organizations in my time as a youth. I was involved in 4-H and FFA, and then Scouts and my local church group, and then community. We did, you know, just community service, as well as the Mayor's Youth Council. So I did a lot growing up.
Scout spirit!
And in all of those organizations, I never found things that instilled in you so many values. We focus about the character of people in Scouts. You don't have to have any prior knowledge to do anything that we do. I remember the first time I went canoeing, it was a 50-mile trip. Yeah, I know, it was a little extreme, but it was the best thing because I learned the knots before we went and water safety and everything before, and it was the best week. We're not creating products, we're not winning competitions, we're creating youth. Whether you're a scouter or whether you're a supporter, whatever it is, just thank you for being part of this and for believing that there's still a future, because there is, and it's going to be great.
The real way to get happiness is to give out happiness to other people. Try to leave this world a little better than you find it. And when your turn comes to die, you can die happy knowing and feeling that at any rate, you've not wasted your time, but you've done your best.
What a great opportunity to train our youth to do their best.
I appreciate what Desiree said there. Expect change. My two oldest attended NYLT with Desiree as their senior patrol leader, and they did come back changed. I appreciate the NYLT program.
Yeah, and it's been around for a long time. Back in the mid-'70s, it was called Junior Leader Training, JLT. But our youth get to go and learn what the adults do at Wood Badge. So it's basically a youth Wood Badge course, and we appreciate them going. A couple other sponsor thank yous for the Wiskerson family, Dan and Gina Hauser, and David Wilcox. We appreciate all their support as well. Next item up that we want to talk about is number 119. Here's a great hunting rifle, a Browning AB3 6.5 Creedmoor. If you want to have something to go up and get your game with, here's a good one. One of the things that you can do on this is you will have to pass the federal firearms check. So if you're a felon, don't bid on this. If you're okay, bid this up. Let's see if we can't get this thing maybe over $1,000 at least. So bid this up. You won't find a better firearm. Browning makes one of the best 6.5 Creedmoors in the nation. And I think that's why we have it in this auction. So again, number 119, Browning AB3. If you want to see some more details on it, go to the Browning Arms site on the internet. Read up on this. This is a great hunting rifle. Bolt action, 5 rounds. So bid it up. Again, auction site is mountainwestcouncil.afrogs.org if you haven't gone there already. You know, one of the things that takes scouting from 7 years old and up is our Scout or a Cub Scout program. Many of us were Cub Scouts. Our den meetings were held in kitchens with moms and friends. We did things like frying ants with magnifying glasses and other unique things that we did as Cub Scouts.
I remember the Pinewood Derbies.
Yeah,
Let me tell you,
absolutely.
Jim, having my kids come through Cub Scouts and making cars with them, and let me tell you, the paint sometimes is still drying by the time we weigh in for the race.
And who's more concerned about it, the parents or the child?
Well, those early years, it's definitely the parents are concerned. You get to some experience on those shoulders, and they start saying, I think I'll come up with a design that's going to win this year.
I'm going to sand those tires off just a little bit.
We hope they stay within the rules,
Jim. We want them to do that. But take a look at this next video. I think you'll understand.
Oh, hello there. My name is Jada. My name is Carlos. My name is Kathleen. My name is Dex. And I'm a Cub Scout. And I'm a Cub Scout. And I'm a Cub Scout. I'm here to talk to you today about becoming a Cub Scout like me. Who here knows what Cub Scouts do? Well, since this is a video, I'm just going to tell you what they do, and let's see if you're right. Cub Scouts get badges for doing fun activities. We make friends. Scouts go camping, climbing, fishing, and swimming together. We have fun, we play sports, and go to parades. Scouts also help people and become the best versions of themselves. Scouts become future leaders. In fact, some Scouts have even made history. Did you know that some of our former presidents, astronauts, award-winning scientists, and actors were Scouts when they were your age? Here's an example of something Cub Scouts get to do each year. Wait for it. We use our skills to make rockets, and then we fly them. Fly them! So, who wants to become a Cub Scout? Okay, this is still a video, so I'm gonna need you to let me know a different way. Visit beascout.org to find a pack near you. Get any questions answered and sign up for Cub Scouts online. Make sure you have an adult to help you with that part though.
You know those Cub Scout Rockets? We started those when I was a Cub Scout. Now I do them with my grandkids. And my dad, who's 85, ordered 2 rockets last year to build himself so that he could do them with the great-grandkids.
Still a Cub Scout at heart, Jim.
Absolutely. He's still there, and it's awesome. If you know of any kids that would like to join Cub Scouts, make sure that you call the Scout office, find out where there's a pack close to you, and get them enrolled so they can have those same experiences like Jay and I had. We'd like to thank Republic Services, West Valley Medical Center, and Independent Indoor Shooting for their sponsorships as well. Our next highlighted auction item is number 118, Idaho Steelheads package. You get 20 tickets to go to any game across the Steelheads schedule. I think they throw out a fish.
You know, there's a lot of fun activities throughout the periods in the hockey game. They'd keep you involved with both tossing the pucks to raise money, like you said, the throwing out the fish on goals, as well as keeping the audience engaged. This is a flex package, so you can break those 20 passes up any way that your schedule allows, and take a younger crowd, and maybe later go on a date.
So go either 2 at a time or 20 at a time.
That's right.
1 at 20 or 10 at 2, or 4 at 5. You can divide them up however you want to. So take them to the game. Hopefully there's not too many fisticuffs that, we show sportsmanship.
There's a penalty box for a reason.
Okay.
And I think it's mostly for our entertainment.
I think so too. I think it's programmed into the deal, frankly. Okay, again, go to these items, look at your bid. On many of these items, if you bid, you can put your highest bid in, and then you'll get notified at the end of the bidding process if there's an item that you've bid on and somebody else bids on it at the end. It extends the bidding process so that you can come back and raise the bid. Don't forget to do those and make sure that you bid these things up as high as you can. Again, you're helping the youth. This is what it's all about. Take a listen to a couple more of our sponsors.
The spaces we work in impacts the work that we do. Excellent spaces inspire excellent work, and excellent work can change the world. That's why at BVA, our slogan is Inspire Excellence. We build spaces that bring out the best in people, companies, and communities. Specializing in office, retail, medical, industrial, and flex spaces, BVA's diverse and expansive portfolio provides unmatched opportunities for anyone interested in Class A office spaces in Idaho. BVA focuses on ground-up development. We guide developments through the processes of land acquisition, entitlements, space planning, architecture, to construction management, leasing, and ultimately property management. In short, BVA specializes in taking developments from land to leased. Our development, architecture, construction, leasing, and property management teams are best in class. They strive to ensure that every client is involved and informed throughout all steps of development, delivering remarkable spaces tailored to each tenant's needs, on budget and on time. At BVA, we build excellent spaces. Excellent spaces inspire excellent work, and excellent work can change the world. Inspire excellence with BVA.
Because in today's world, if you're not getting better and coming up with new ways to serve your customers, you're bordering on obsolescence.
You know, again, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors, and especially our title sponsor, Taco Bell, and Stan, Stephen, and Brett Nicolason, and all of that team that has dedicated themselves to helping us with this broadcast.
And just as they're the next generation of the family to run the company, we have that next generation of scouts that need your support. They have come up in a time of not being able to meet together, and we offer them now the social experience, the character development, and the outdoor experience that can change their life.
And your bids today and across this auction period make that difference. So this is the time, if you know somebody that could bid, that is not bidding, give them a call, send them an email. Let them know that their monies will go to probably one of the best causes in the United States and the world. And not only will it go to benefiting youth across the globe, but really it benefits a single person, a single youth in our council right here in our communities. It's those Cub Scouts and those scouts that are in our individual packs and troops that benefit from your generosity this evening. Thank you for all that you have done for scouting, that you continue to do for scouting. We hope that you've learned a few things from our broadcast this evening. And again, spend some money. Thank you very much.
Good night.
It's in